This video is going to show you how to add a numerical question to a quiz in Moodle quiz module. The first thing you need to do is to locate the class and the module where the quiz is located. Once you find the quiz, click on it. As the teacher, if there is already a question in the quiz, you're going to see this screen that asks you to attempt the quiz. In order to edit the quiz question, you're going to have to go to your sidebar and under Settings, click Edit Quiz to get to the quiz editing screen. Once you get to the quiz editing screen, you'll see the questions that are currently existing in the quiz, and then to add your question, just click Add a Question. This is going to be numerical, so we'll click on Numerical, and then Next. Numerical question types would probably be very useful for math teachers, some science teachers, but also for other subject matter, and certainly for elementary and middle school teachers in a bunch of subject areas. The category that you choose is important. If you want to be able to make this question available for other quizzes and tests at other times, you want to leave the course default as your category. If you want it to specifically be for that quiz only, like I want to here, click on default for that particular quiz, in this case the ice cream quiz. You want to name your question. I'm going to name it 3. I usually use a number, but a descriptive name might help you later on sorting out which questions you're actually talking about if you want to put them in other quizzes. You'll need text. This is the instruction. This is the actual question. And that goes in this question text box. What I'm going to ask is, how many flavors of ice cream are available at West Dairy? I don't really know the answer to this, so I'm going to make a number up. In question text, I don't have to only put text. I can insert an image by selecting the image button, media, Moodle media, by selecting this little film strip button. I can add special characters like Greek letters, non-English characters, fractions, and mathematical symbols. There's a variety of those that may be of use, particularly to science and foreign language and math teachers. I can insert a table by selecting the little table icon, and this allows me to put in tables with various sizes of rows and columns. All that can be placed into the question text if it would make it more descriptive or make it better for your students to take that question. The default mark is there. You can usually leave that at 1, and there's another place to change that if you don't want to change it here. Now, we have to provide an answer that's going to be acceptable. I'm going to say that my answer is 23. So I'll just key in 23, and that's the only acceptable answer here. So I'm going to give that 100% an accepted error. Well, let's say you want to let the kid get away with 22 or 24. So I can put in here for accepted error 1, and it'll take anything from 22 to 24, so 23 plus or minus 1. That gives a little leeway, particularly in a question where a kid's going to be calculating the answer for them to make a minor mistake and still be okay. There's a spot for more answers, for answer 2 and answer 3, that you could have partial credit or just have the answers be there, wrong answers be there, so that you can give feedback for a particular mistake that you know you're going to get. Let's say you're anticipating a common mistake of 31. You know it's not the right answer, but you want to anticipate that kids are going to select this answer. You can either give them partial credit, 50% credit or something like that, or just leave it as none and have it just be for the purpose of putting this feedback in here. Like, for example, I could say, you are thinking of Baskin Robbins. And so the student would get that feedback if they answer that incorrect answer. If you need more options, you can add more choices in units of 3. Here's unit handling. If you're a science teacher in particular, this might be important. If you want units to show up in the answer, then the student is going to have to spell or abbreviate the unit the right way. And you're going to have to specify that. I have tried this. It's a nightmare, and so I usually don't use units at all, which is the default position. And it just says here, units are not used at all. Only the numerical value is graded. And then I just make sure that my students understand that they're not supposed to put units in there. Even if they do, Moodle will ignore them. You have settings for multiple tries. If you want the students to have the option of taking a quiz over again, you can set a penalty for getting it wrong and then taking it over the second time. I don't do that. I don't think there should be a penalty, and so I always set that at 0, but that's your choice. There are spots for hint. I don't know where these hints show up, if they do at all, in our version of Moodle that we use here at Hayward, so I never use hints. Once you've gotten down to this point, you can click Save Changes, and your numerical question is ready to go. When you've clicked Save Changes, you get back to the quiz editing page. And you have two buttons that are of use. One is the Preview button. It's this little magnifying glass button. If I click on that, I get a preview of what the student is going to see if they take the quiz. For this question, they'll see how many flavors of ice cream are available at West Dairy. Just to make sure that Moodle is programmed for the right answer, I can click Fill in Correct Responses, and my answer comes in, 23, just like I had hoped. So I can close Preview. If there was something wrong with my question, or I have a mistake, or I want to change it for any reason, then I select the little hand with the pencil button, which is the Edit or Update button, and I go back to the question editing page where I can make my changes and then either save them or I can make a copy. So I could start out with the question, modify it slightly, save it with the Make a Copy button, and then I'll have a completely different question and save myself the work of having to type some of the details that are the same between the two questions. So there's how you can make a numerical question using the Moodle quiz module. Now, if you'd like your numerical question to be a little bit more random so that students can't just tell the number to each other and cheat on the quiz, you might want to select a calculated question. There's another video available about that.